Welcome to the Knakal News Network. The Knakal News Network is brought to you by the Knakal Group, Cushman & Wakefield's #1 investment sales team in New York City.
Hi, I'm John Hageman, partner at the Knakal Group at Cushman & Wakefield. Welcome to the Knakal News Network. Today I'm here with Bob Knakal, Chairman of New York Investment Sales at Cushman & Wakefield. And today we're going to talk about the expiration of the 421A program. Affordable housing is such an important thing for the city. Clearly the 421A expiration is going to have an impact on the market. Tell us what your thoughts are.
Well, it was an interesting study that the Furman Center put out last year that said that about 30% of New Yorkers pay over 50% of their income in rent. They're considered severely burdened by that obligation. Rent should be about 30% of your income. This is a critical issue, and the concern that the industry has is that in the absence of 421A or some similar type program, we're just not going to get the number of units built that we need.
Clearly that must be making Mayor de Blasio upset.
Well, absolutely. The mayor has an objective of trying to create or preserve 200,000 units of affordable housing. Most public officials throw in preserve because that's a way of, if you maintain rent stabilized or rent controlled housing, you can claim that you preserve those. But really, to achieve numbers anywhere close to what the mayor's objective is, you need to create new units. And without this program, it's going to be very, very challenging for those units to be created.
So Bob, can you explain that a little further? Because I know there's tenant advocates out there that think that because of the expiration of the program, land values will fall, and because of condos being built, rental will be developed instead.
Right. Well, the school of thought that they've brought forth is that without the 421A, that's a good thing because land values will fall, and if land values fall, people will be able to build rental housing as opposed to condominiums. And with land values as high as they've been, it has been impossible, basically economically not feasible to build rentals. The problem with that is that anything that exerts downward pressure on land values leads to a stagnation in the market, because if land values do fall, sellers will not sell at that new land price until they get acclimated to it, and that usually takes a couple of years. So what will ultimately happen is that you're not going to have a lower land basis and therefore more rental built. You're going to have an air bubble created in the pipeline where these lower land values are just going to lead to properties not being sold and therefore new properties not being built on those pieces of land. So it will actually lead to a far greater reduction in the number of new units being built.
So with all this, what do you think the solution is, Bob?
Well, ultimately, we need a 421A program or something similar to come back into the mix. Now, given where we are at the end of the first quarter of 2016 and needing legislative help to get this over the goal line, it's going to be very challenging to get that accomplished this year. We're in an election year in New York, both in the Senate and the Assembly. This is a hot potato issue, so it could very well be that we don't have a 421A program or a 421A equivalent until sometime in 2017, and what that's going to do is create an enormous air bubble in the pipeline of housing production in this city.
The way you say that, it doesn't sound like a good thing.
Well, it's not a good thing for our housing market. It's not a good thing for labor. It's not a good thing for the real estate industry. And basically, it's just simply not a good thing for New York. In summary, the expiration of 421A benefits is a devastating occurrence for New York City's affordable housing industry. The mayor's objective of creating or preserving 200,000 units of affordable housing is dealt a major blow by this turn of events. The elimination of this program will cause land values to fall, and land will simply stop selling. This will create a tremendous air bubble in the production pipeline of housing and will be bad for our local economy, bad for our housing market, and bad for New York.
Thank you for joining us today. Tune in next week for another episode of the Knakal News Network.